Hello, friend. I am so excited to welcome you into this workshop. It's going to be so good. The official title of this workshop is Back in Gear, Realigning Your Brand to Get Unstuck. The unofficial title of this workshop is Why What You're Doing Isn't Working. Because I'm sorry. If you have had a rough 2025, if you have had a rough year, what you're doing isn't working. So we're going to talk about it. Because here's the truth. Most of what you've tried this year isn't working because it was never going to. It's not because you've done it wrong. It's not because you made the wrong choices inside of what you were trying to do. The things aren't working because they're the wrong things. Because quick fixes can't solve a deeper misalignment. For so many business owners, 2025 felt like pedaling uphill on a rusty bike in the wrong gear. I use the metaphor of a bicycle through this whole thing because I think it's really appropriate. I am the least athletic person. I am not on my bike all the time. I'm not that person, but it makes sense. Even I remember being a teenager and being a kid and being on my bike and it's in the wrong gear. And so I'm spinning my wheels and not moving anywhere. Or I'm in too high of a gear or whatever it was, and I'm putting my whole body weight into it. Every time I want to move forward, I have to put my whole body weight into it just to get things moving. Not sustainable, not helpful. And you're not alone. If that feels appropriate or accurate in any way, you are not alone. And I'm sorry, but you don't need another thing or funnel or offer or whatever it is inside of your business to fix it. You need alignment. You need a way to make things that you're doing in the moment connect with the deep center of your brand. And that's what this workshop is about. Let's get you moving forward again with clarity, energy, and ease. Ready? Okay. So this is what's included in this workshop. We're going to start with the burnout audit, then we're going to do where's the disconnect, then getting back in gear and moving forward. A little bit about me. My name is Meg Joyce. I am a brand designer and identity coach. I help people to find themselves. Apologies if you can hear my dog breathing in the background. She gets very excited when I get excited. I help people to find themselves. And it's not just that I help people to find themselves. I help people to find themselves inside of their businesses. I help people to reconnect with who they are and what matters to them and their purpose, passion, and joy inside of whatever it is that they're building, which could be a business brand, it could be life, it could be whatever. And I give people the practical tools to actually make something of that, to actually move forward in the world and in life with the tools that they need to make the most of it. And some of that is design. And I am recovering from misalignment. I know what you've been going through. I know how all of it feels because I have been there. I also know how it feels to be on the other side because I am doing great. I am on the other side of misalignment. I am aligned and things are connected and they are selling and it feels wonderful. We'll talk more about that later. First thing we're going to do, I want you to grab a piece of paper, something to write with, and I just want you to make tally marks for each of the following statements that feels true. Every single one of the following things that feels true. I don't want you to think about it a bunch. Just tally mark. Easy. Okay, does this feel true? Things feel harder than they used to, and you're not sure why. Maybe marketing, selling, even showing up for your own business feels like pushing a bike uphill. You keep fixing things that don't stay fixed. A new offer, a new funnel, a new message, yet the results stay more or less the same. You're second guessing yourself all the time. Every post, every email, every decision feels like you might be saying or doing the wrong thing. I don't know. Your excitement has flatlined. That's a big one. What used to feel inspiring now feels heavy or obligatory. That's not a fun place to be. That's not a fun place to live. Sales have slowed down and they're not picking back up. You've tried all the things that used to work and you've paid for the programs, maybe the coaching programs, maybe the courses, whatever, to try to fix it. but it didn't fix it. The problem's still there. Does that feel true? You feel like you've outgrown your own brand, and brand doesn't mean the design. It can mean the design, that can be a piece of it that you've outgrown. But what it really means is purpose. It doesn't reflect the business you're trying to build now. And it certainly doesn't feel inspiring anymore, more just confusing. You're exhausted by marketing. You dread writing posts or emails because you don't even know what to say anymore. That's a big one. You feel like you're working harder than ever, but you're not getting the momentum you expected for all that effort. Maybe you've considered dramatic measures in the past 7 months, like getting a second job or flipping everything on its head and starting over. I know what that feels like. You're not alone. You've started doubting yourself. Maybe it's new, maybe it's not new. Maybe you've spent a lifetime doubting yourself, but it matters. The business you maybe used to feel confident in now feels shaky, like you're missing something important and you don't know what it is. That's not a good feeling. You're craving clarity. Deep down, you know there's a bigger vision. You just can't see the road to get you there. Maybe you used to see it. Not anymore. Now take a second, count up your numbers, see how many you've got, because this is going to tell us where you are in the grand scheme of things. So if you got between 0 and 3, you're coasting, which is fine. Things aren't broken, but you can feel that maybe there's a little bit of a drag. Business used to feel easier and you're noticing more friction than flow. This is a great time for you to realign to avoid the burnout that might be ahead of you. If you got between 4 and 6, I would say you're in the stuck gear. You're stuck. You're working hard, but the energy isn't moving you forward. Some days you feel motivated, but most you're just spinning your wheels and not sure what comes next. Does that feel like you? If you got between 7 and 8, that is the uphill climb. Everything feels harder than it should. You've been trying, experimenting, pushing, but it's exhausting and discouraging, and it's using up all of your energy. Maybe you've started a podcast, changed your services, but when the excitement wears off, you're still not moving forward. The excitement of the new thing is captivating and it's intoxicating and it's exciting, but did anything actually change? If you got 9 to 10, and when I did this workshop live, I got some 9s. Thankfully no 10s, but it's big. That is the flat tire. You can't move forward on a flat tire. You've hit a wall. Marketing feels like a chore. Sales aren't sticking, and you're doubting yourself more than ever. Please know that you are not failing. You're in the wrong gear. This workshop is your invitation to stop pedaling uphill, get off the bike for a moment, and get the help to fix it. Okay. So what do we do with that number? What do we do with where you fit on that scale? Next step is to figure out where the disconnect is, because we're gonna try and fix it. We don't get to fix it all the way because this is just an online workshop that you're participating in. We have to be realistic, but we get to move forward. We get to get some clarity. Okay, so where is the disconnect? This is a great exercise. Let's find what's not working and figure out why the real problem maybe isn't what you think. Because if you're trying to fix the wrong thing, it's not going to fix the problem. So I want you to write down the 3 areas in your business that feel heaviest. And as you're writing, give space to each one because we're going to layer on top of each of them. So write down the 3 areas in your business or whatever it is that you're doing that feel the heaviest right now, where things aren't working or feel confusing. You are welcome to pause the video and take the time you need to write things down. Okay. Now, once you've gotten those written down, for each one, I want you to answer the question, what have I done to try to fix this? What did I hope would happen? And why do I still think it feels off or wrong? Go ahead and pause the video if you need to. Okay. Because there are probably things that you did to fix this. Or actually, there was somebody on one of the workshop calls that she said, "Oh, I'm realizing now that I've done nothing to try to fix them. I've just been mad about it." That doesn't fix anything. Okay. Okay. So once you've got those answers, takeaway from this piece of the workshop is that the things that feel broken usually aren't the root problem. The things that look broken on the surface or are the easy things to figure out at the surface level, they are not the problem. When you start to get into the emotional heaviness and the fear and the unwillingness and the regret and all of these deep emotions, that's where the problem lives. That's where the problem lives, the heaviness. When your brand and offers don't match who you are or where you're headed, it creates friction internally and externally. The problem isn't how hard you're pedaling, it's that the gears aren't connected. So it doesn't matter how much you tweak and you try to fix on the surface. The problem is the alignment. Next exercise is getting back in gear. Clarify the disconnect between where you are and where you're going so we can fix it. Yay. All right, so this is a good thing. This is a happy thing. Imagine your life 3 years from now. Look at this lady in this picture. She is having a blast. She is putting minimal effort into staying on that bike. She's going downhill. She's having a grand old time. She's got flowers. Maybe she's going for a picnic. I see that blanket. She is smiling. She is having fun and things feel easy. Imagine a version of your life 3 years from now where that's how you feel. Things are flowing. You're doing work you love. Your audience gets it and sales feel solid. Like you're coasting on a bike downhill, gaining momentum with the wind in your hair and minimal effort to keep things moving. Just imagine it. What would that look like for you? What would that feel like for you? Don't get caught up in the details. Just think of the feeling. What could possibly be happening in order for you to feel that way? What does life look like and feel like? What kind of work are you doing? And how does it feel to be doing that work? What are you known for? And what do people trust you with? Okay, take a second if you need to. Pause the video and come back. Okay. Now think about where you are right now, which is hard. It's hard. Take that vision of you 3 years from now feeling amazing, where everything's easy, and compare it to you right now. And between those two, where do you feel the most friction? What are the things that don't feel like they can coexist? What feels impossible or confusing in getting you to that place 3 years from now? Because I'd be willing to bet there's at least part of you that says, man, that would be amazing, but I can't. So why? What feels impossible? What do you know needs to change to make that dream come true? What do you know needs to change? Not can it change? What needs to change to make that dream possible? Because I can tell you from personal experience and professional experience, everything can change. But it probably feels like it can't. So identify it so that we can figure it out. Okay. Take away from this exercise. What can you change? Because something has to change. It can't stay like this. And it's not on the surface, it's deeper. It's emotional and it's foundational. This feeling of I can't, or I would if I could. You can. You just need to let go of holding on to the death grip, holding on to I can't. Because it's bullshit. Excuse my language, it's bullshit. All of your brand choices going forward need to be made in hope, not in fear, desperation, or clinging to the past. Because that's how you stay stuck. Hope is how you move forward and actually change things. And I get it. There were some people on the workshop calls who I know very well, and I know that hope is hard. They in particular have had really hard years, and I know what it feels like to have a really hard several years, and I'll tell you about that later, but hope is always possible. Last big exercise. We've been using the metaphor of the bike because you being in charge of your business and trying to keep things moving and trying to keep things working, all of these things, it's easy to get so caught up in the mechanics of the bicycle. Do I have the right this, that, or the other? But I have to remind you that you are the reason that the bike or the business or the brand exists at all. You are the reason. And how connected and clear you feel in what you're doing is why people buy or don't buy from you. When you're unclear, your audience is too. And they're not going to buy if they don't know what you do. You are the reason the bike exists at all. What makes your work different in a way that you rarely talk about? Write it down. What are the things that you do that are you, that nobody else is doing, that feel important to you? Maybe you don't talk about enough. What have you outgrown, even if it's still part of your current brand or messaging? I know you've outgrown things. If things aren't clicking and connecting in your brand, you have outgrown things. Our services don't stay the same. Our businesses don't stay the same. People don't stay the same. The heart of us do, the soul of us do, but the surface stuff changes all the time. What have you outgrown? As of today, what changes are you going to make? And what are you leaving behind? This is my favorite question in the whole workshop because it's so good. What are you leaving behind? We've identified the changes that need to happen. So which of those are you going to actually do today, this week, this month? Make a commitment. Now, I told you that I know what you're going through because I've been there. This is the thing that I've been saying, like, oh, we'll talk about that later. This is the time. I know what you're going through because I've been there. If you're here, if you've come this far in the workshop, it's because you need help. Things need to change, and I know what it feels like. This is my story. I started my business 10 years ago. I started a graphic design business. It was great. Everything was running gangbusters. I was making sales, making money. I was constantly busy. And then 5 years ago, I had a baby. And 2 months later, everything shut down for the pandemic and everything changed. And I went through 2 years of crazy postpartum depression and anxiety. I started a business. I ended a business. It was a mess. I was a mess. And at that point, a dear friend and colleague of mine named Maura Naven reached out and pulled me out of the ocean I was drowning in, pulled me back to life. And I will tell that story for the rest of my life because sometimes you just need somebody to reach out and save you. And that's okay. More than okay. And then I came up with this beautiful new concept for my business, and I was so excited about it. And for 3 years, I had no sales. I didn't know how to make a sale. I'd never had to make a sale before. I had always, in my graphic design business, everything was so cheap and my time was so readily available before having a baby that I just took whatever came to me. And there was always plenty because people needed that in a way that they understood and it made sense. And it was, you get it done. And I hated it. I hated it. I hated that business. I hated that business. I had loved it at the start. And then I grew to resent it so much, which is part of why I made the change. But then on the other side of that change, I had no idea how to make a sale with this new thing that I was so excited about and that I knew people needed help with. But I spent 3 years only taking projects that came to me because that's what I'd always done. I didn't know how to make a sale. No paycheck. No sales, no paycheck. It did not feel good. It did not feel good to go 3 years basically with no paycheck. I was borrowing money from personal accounts. It's not something I'm proud of, but I think it's something that we all have to do at some point in business. And I want to be open and honest about it. No sales, no paycheck for 3 years, no clarity. I got a tremendous gift from my father because I told him I don't even know how I'm going to pay the next month's bills because the company credit card's maxed out. I've got nothing left. So he gifted me the exact amount that I needed to pay down that credit card. And it was amazing. So I paid down the credit card to zero and then immediately spent it all again on coaches and programs that I thought were the thing that I was missing. But it didn't work. It didn't work because I didn't know what I was doing. That money was wasted, and I found myself in the exact same spot that I'd been in before because I didn't know I had no clarity. 3 years and no confidence because after all of that, how could I? How could I feel confident and good about what I was doing? And I say all of this to tell you that you are not alone. If any part of this feels familiar, or if you can see yourself in any of my story, you are not alone at all. And I am telling my story because I'm the one doing the workshop, because you're here listening to me talk. But I can tell you that so many, almost entirely, all of my friends and colleagues and contacts, which is a lot of people seem to like me and feel very comfortable opening up to me. We have all experienced this. You are not alone. And it gets to be different. It gets to be different because I made a change at the start of this year. I figured it out. I understood what the problem was and I fixed it for real. And now I'm having my best year ever. Best year ever. I know how to make sales. I know how to hit my numbers. I am having my best year ever, not just in the past 5 years, but in the past 10 years. I'm actually paying myself, which feels so validating. It feels like being an actual human with value, which is a whole other problem, and we should talk about why we equate money with value, but it helps. I am super clear on what I do. I know my face is over the thing. It says super clear. I'm super clear on what I do, which is how I'm making sales because I know what to say that connects with people who need the help that I offer. And I have all the confidence. All the confidence. If you see me on social media, if you watch the podcast, whatever it is, all the confidence because I know what I'm doing and I know that it works and it feels amazing. So use me as proof that you can go from absolute garbage years to feeling amazing, to having the best year. And I only see it getting better because the reality is in all of those 3 years, people hadn't changed. Not really. Clients hadn't changed. What they needed from me hadn't changed. Everything made sense. All the pieces were there. I was not okay. I was not able or ready to make it fit together. And I couldn't do it for myself. Nobody can. So, when your brand is aligned, it becomes magnetic. Clarity and confidence follow. And clarity and confidence sell. How can you sell something that you don't fully understand or believe in? You can't. You can't sell something if you don't believe in it and you don't understand it. It all starts with you. I am sick and tired. I am sick and tired of having such amazing business owners in my life and having no clue how to refer them to anybody because they don't know what they do. I can't I can't buy your services. I can't refer you to people. I can't talk about you in networking spaces if you don't know what you do. It all starts with you. The center of your brand is you. The reason the bike exists at all is you. Everything you do has to be aligned with you. And so, of course, I offer a brand alignment package. This is 4 brand alignment calls. That's 4 calls over 2 months. So you know exactly how to make 2026 better than 2025. Because we're done. We're done with the garbage. It's time for something better. On these calls, you will get an opportunity to open up emotionally and deal with that stuff. I am not a therapist. I am just a very good listener, and I have great professional and personal experience to help you work through it. Also, you will get practical advice and actions that you can take to make things better right away, immediately, because I can see things differently than you can see things because I'm not in your head. I am an outside observer looking in, listening to the problem, figuring it out for and with you because you can't do it for yourself. No one can. So that's the 4 calls. You also, at the end of those 4 calls, get a brand future vision write up. And I love these because it helps protect you from the shiny objects that will distract you from actually making progress and actually moving forward. The future vision write up, you print it out, put it on your wall, look at it every time you start to feel down or you start to doubt yourself. It is a roadmap for the future that you're growing into. And if you start this in 2025, you will get an extra brand alignment call with me for free, and that is a $240 value. Not so bad. So keep this in mind. If any of what I have said resonates with you, I would love for you to consider brand alignment. It's not about the design. It's about the purpose and the humanity and feeling excited and motivated in your business. Not because you're scared of the future, but because you're pumped to get there. Brand alignment is about getting your brand back in gear so your energy and effort actually move you forward. We will deep dive into uncovering what's off and realign your brand with your bigger vision, give you the clarity and the momentum that you've been missing. If you are tired of pedaling uphill and feeling like you're barely moving, if you're tired of fixing the wrong things, wondering why they're still not working, if you're tired of adding stickers and shiny lights and whatever it is to the bicycle of your business and still getting overlooked time and time and time again because you're just sitting there hoping that people notice how amazing it is, but they can't see it. I want to invite you to take this step. Brand alignment. Happy to work on payment plans, all of the things. I am all about not making hard sales. I am all about making things easy for you to get into. So talk to me about that. Just a few things that people have said about the experience of being on brand alignment calls with me and being in brand alignment. Meredith Elkins said, where I had been focused on the how and what, Meg brought my why and most importantly, why customers should care into focus. Jeff Goldman said, the calls were where I felt heard and really supported. And Ashley Howland said, you see people beyond what they believe they can be or do, and you wait patiently with support and open arms when we get lost. This is a piece of a larger testimonial that she left me where she said I was like a lighthouse. She considers me a lighthouse, and that no matter where she is, she knows that I am shining brightly, protecting her and warming her and guiding her. Even in choppy seas, even when she feels lost, I am there because that's me. That's very me. Thank you. And now, if you were here and we were doing this live, I would ask you right now my most frequently asked question, my own question that I ask all the time, which is, how are you feeling? And because this is a video and you don't have the ability to just say it back to me, I would love for you to reply to this. Send me an email and let me know how you're feeling. How are you feeling after this? What came up for you? And let me know where I can help. I am here. Or just let me know what came up and I will let you know how I can help. And until we speak on a call or in person, just know that you're going to be okay and that I am proud of you and I love you.